At last the world is rising up to fight the tyranny of Valentine's Day. And fighting Valentine's Day should hardly come as a shock when the current culture is so afraid of offending. How can two people in love openly enjoy celebrating this holiday when there are so many who are alone and an open show of affection may upset the single or the amorously challenged? But love it or hate it, you are free to celebrate it. Here's where the crazy comes in. Valentine's Day is actually banned in some Muslim countries. Crazier than that, the people have taken to the streets to protest the day. Now, I'm all for public protests, but when you live in a country that lashes rape victims, and you don't bother to protest this inhumane treatment, but instead you choose to protest Valentine's Day, maybe your priorities are a bit out of whack. We're going to start in Pakistan, and Pakistan has become the latest country to ban Valentine's Day. It has prohibited all public celebrations and any media coverage because the celebration is not part of Muslim traditions. The ruling was handed down by the Islamabad High Court following an unsuccessful attempt to ban the festival last year. The order was in response to a private petition which argued the festival promotes immorality, nudity, and indecency under the guise of celebrating love. President Hussein urged Pakistanis not to observe Valentine's Day, which he criticized as a Western import that threatened to undermine Islamic values. He said, and I quote, "Valentine's Day has no connection with our culture and it should be avoided." In 2015, Pakistan's top Islamic cleric body threatened to issue a fatwa against the sale of condoms, following reports they were being sold together with chocolate to mark Valentine's Day. Print and electronic media have also been warned to stop all Valentine's Day promotions immediately. Meanwhile, the Pakistan Electronic Media Regulatory Authority had been ordered to monitor all mediums and send out notifications banning any related promotions. As nutty as this ban is, what is even more astounding is that the public is in support of it. In a poll conducted by Dawn on its website, more than 80% of readers agreed with Islamabad High Court's ruling to ban the celebrations. Last year, there were clashes at a university in Peshawar over Valentine's Day. Liberal students were celebrating with red balloons and cake, while another group felt such a show was un-Islamic. Dozens of students threw rocks in a scuffle, leading to gunshots being fired by both sides and rooms in a student dormitory being set on fire. In Malaysia last year, 80 Muslims were arrested by the Islamic Morality Police for celebrating Valentine's Day. Officers raided budget hotels in the central state of Selangor and the capital, Kuala Lumpur, detaining unmarried Muslim couples who were sharing rooms. The anti-Valentine's Day campaign by the country's Islamic Authority goes back to a fatwa issued in 2005. In Malaysia, the National Muslim Youth Association released a document a day before Valentine's Day advising Muslim women against using emoticons in text messages and to simplify conversation when private messaging and avoid wearing fragrance. And it'll come as no surprise that religious police in Saudi Arabia banned the sale of all Valentine's Day goods in 2008, telling shops to remove all red items, a move which is said to have led to a black market sale in roses, wrapping paper, and red goods. One shop owner described how Valentine's Day orders are placed over the telephone to avoid detection and flowers are hidden in the back room of the store. Last August, the decision to sentence 5 Saudis to a total of 39 years in prison, as well as 4,500 lashes between them, was upheld. The men had been found dancing with 6 women they were unrelated to on Valentine's Day, and alcohol and red roses were also seized. While giving chocolates and flowers on February 14th is increasingly popular in Iran, in the past authorities have sought to crack down on celebrations, calling the day a decadent Western custom. Despite the restaurants in Tehran reportedly being booked last year, and many shops could be seen selling teddy bears and heart-shaped boxes of chocolates. This was in spite of being threatened with prosecution if they sold traditional Valentine's Day gifts. According to The Economist, shops simply used lookouts to tell them if inspectors were coming on a Valentine's Day patrol. This all sounds very cloak and dagger over teddy bears and chocolates. In Indonesia, officials from the country's second largest city, Surabaya, ordered schools to prohibit students from celebrating Valentine's Day. While in Makassar, police raided mini-marts and seized condoms in a bid to prevent teenagers from having sex. Local media reports suggest a number of rallies were held across the country to make young people aware that Valentine's Day is a Western concept. Protesters holding boards saying Muslims say no to Happy Valentine's Day held rallies in 4 cities in Indonesia. The ban was declared by the country's highest Islamic clerical council in 2012, saying it was contradictory to Muslim cultures and teaching. I just wanted to run down quickly the main arguments that Muslims use when they say it is un-Islamic to celebrate Valentine's Day. The first argument they often use is they say that in Islam the festivals are clearly defined and well established, and no additions or subtractions may be accepted. So if we look at the Quran, It states, "To each among you we have prescribed a law and a clear way, and for every nation we have ordained religious ceremonies which they must follow." And here's a little poem that explains it. "Roses are red, violets are blue. Free mixing and dating is what disbelievers do. Shaitan comes between the intimate two. So remember, O Muslims, it's haram for you." Shaitan could be translated as the devil or an evil spirit. Imitating non-Muslims, whether that's imitation in regard to their worship or in their customs and behavior, is haram. This is indicated in the Quran, the Sunnah, and the Ijma, which is the unanimous consent of scholars. Here's another verse from the Quran. "And be not as those who divided and differed among themselves after the clear proofs had come to them. It is they for whom there is an awful torment." And from the Sunnah, Muhammad stated, "Whoever imitates a people is one of them." And here's another billboard that says, "If you do not have haya in you, you are free to do whatever you like." Haya basically is translated as shyness or modesty. In short, many Muslim countries do not believe in celebrating Valentine's Day because celebrating it is imitating the pagans. It is not a Muslim festival, and it promotes infatuation and sexual immorality in their minds. Love it or hate it, at least in the West, you can celebrate it. And for those of you who are, I'm going to sign off with Happy Valentine's Day. This is Infidel L for NTDWI. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.